This is an AI-generated podcast based on the article When Loss Became the Doorway to Purpose, Fourth Heffner's Journey from Corporate Misery to Faith-Driven Leadership, written by Apryl. The article link is in the show notes. Fourth, thanks so much for being here today. I want to start with something that really struck me in your story, that hour-long commute home from your corporate job. You said it was the best part of your day. Not because of where you were going, but because of what you were leaving behind. Can you take us back to that season? What was it about that life that felt so wrong?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that. I was miserable, honestly. I have this corporate title, the tall building, all the things I thought I wanted, but every day I'd sit in that traffic and just feel this weight. And then I'd walk through the door at home and realize I had to do it all over again tomorrow. I knew I did not want to live that life.
That's such a powerful realization. So you left that world and reluctantly went to work for your dad for what you thought would be 2 months. That turned into 11 years. What changed? What made that different from the corporate grind?
That's a great question. I think I realized something was different about me. I'm a little more visionary oriented, and I never felt like I fit in the corporate mold. Working with my dad, I had the latitude to do some creative things, take some shots, and exercise that visionary nature that I have. For the first time, work felt like permission instead of confinement.
I love that. Permission instead of confinement. But then, 3 years into that season, tragedy struck. Your father collapsed and died in the office lobby. I can't even imagine. How did that moment, that loss, shape your faith?
Yeah, so he died right there on the spot. It was 2011, and we were already dealing with so much stress. A bookkeeper had embezzled at least $50,000, and then this. I realized that God was the only thing between me and misery then. I miss my dad like crazy. It will be 15 years next week since he passed, and I never could have imagined that I would be this happy without him. I know it is only because of that relationship that I have with Jesus Christ.
That's profound, Fourth. And it sounds like that deepening of faith became the foundation for how you approach business now. You've got 5 businesses today, right? Talk to me about how you actually integrate faith into these ventures. I mean, what does that look like in practice?
Absolutely. So I decided early on in my career that I was going to integrate my faith in what I did, not separate it. Take Longitude Planning Group, the landscape architecture company I co-own. Our purpose statement is glorifying God through design. Every decision we make is measured through, does this project or does this decision glorify God? That is a great centering ethos that we have integrated into that, and I think it has enriched our partnership. Yes, certainly blessed our business.
So you're literally praying before business meetings. I'm curious, how do clients respond to that? I imagine not everyone shares your beliefs.
You're right, and I'm not naive about that. My clients understand that when they work with me, we are going to pray before we start. I understood that I am not going to be around Christians and believers every day, and that is okay, but they are going to know that I am one. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. There's something really powerful about that clarity. I noticed you keep a verse on your desk, Mark 9:24. I believe, help my unbelief. Can you unpack that for us? Why that verse?
This was one that just struck right to the heart. It's the prayer of a father who brought his demon-possessed son to Jesus, desperate for healing but honest with his doubt. I'm trying to get better at memorizing verses, but I keep this one on my desk. It reminds me that faith isn't the absence of doubt, it's the decision to move forward in spite of it,
That's beautiful. So for the Christian business leader who's still compartmentalizing, who's got their Sunday faith and their Monday work life, what would you say to them based on what you've learned?
I'd say this. Since I was older when I started my businesses, I was able to make decisions that were much more grounded in what I wanted them to be. Starting with my faith. I want people to see that the way I live and the way that I function positively and the fact that I have all this autonomy and have made these decisions is because I made that first and everything else was secondary to that. You can build profitable businesses that honor God, right? You can lead with conviction and still win clients.
Fourth, thank you so much for sharing your story. I think what's so compelling is that you're not preaching perfection, you're demonstrating possibility. For listeners who want to learn more about your work or connect with you, all the details are in the show notes along with the full article. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you, April. I really appreciate it.